Hi YouTube, I'm IFBB Bikini Pro, Lisette Howard, and today's video is specifically for you bikini athletes who are getting ready for the 2016 season. I get asked so many questions about competing from you ladies, so I wanted to put together this little video, even though I've done some other videos regarding my contest prep and talking about what the judges are really looking for, what are some of the things that allow you to compete in the NPC. But I've never really done a video that talks about kind of like the most important things that you ladies need to know about competing. So that's what this video is about today. I'm gonna be offering you guys 5 tips and kind of some like 5 key elements that are really, really important to keep in mind before you step on stage, whether it's for the first time or if you're a seasoned competitor and have noticed that maybe you're not placing as well as you should be placing. These tips are definitely gonna help you guys kind of absolutely bring your best package to the stage and really kind of get you in a frame of mind of thinking, okay, these are the checklists, these are the things that I really need to know and really need to incorporate into my package before stepping on stage. There's a lot that goes into being a competitor, specifically when it deals with the bikini category. And this is something that I talk about a lot because, you know, there's a lot of athletes out there, there's a lot of information, there's a lot of coaches, there's a lot of there's a lot of misinformation. And everything that I kind of bring you guys and share with you when it comes to, either my own personal prep or just, nutritional tips and training tips, they just come from personal experience. These are things that I have either studied, have learned, things that I have encountered throughout my years in the fitness industry and my years as a competitor. So the things that I'm going to be sharing with you guys today really come from experiencing the stage, from being in this industry, from being, a pro athlete for the last 3 years, being a competitor for almost 5 years. These are some of the things that I've encountered along the way and some of the information that I've received from judges specifically. As an IFBB pro, one of the great things about being a pro athlete in the IFBB is that I have one-on-one access with these judges. I've had the opportunity to speak to them. I've had the chance of, getting some information from them, really kind of honing in on some of the things that they look for in their athletes. For those of you who haven't competed, this is a tough industry. This is a very difficult sport to be a part of because there are a lot of athletes. I think that social media and Instagram has kind of like blown up this world of competing, and now everyone wants to compete. And I think it's a great thing because it really challenges you. It really kind of pushes your body to its limit. It really tests you. It kind of shows you what you're made of. I mean, if you work a full-time job and you're getting up in the morning to do cardio and you're preparing your meals on the weekends and you're training on the weekends and getting out of work and going to the gym, I mean, this is a tough thing to do. It takes a lot of guts. It takes a lot of strength and discipline to do this. So if you guys are, going to be competing, you definitely want to have a good strategy because you're going up against a lot of athletes. I remember when I started competing, I think that there was maybe 10 competitors in my bikini category, at my first show, maybe 12. And as the shows progressed and as the years progressed, it just kept escalating and escalating. And by the time that I went on the national stage and earned my pro card, I think there was like 56 or 58 competitors in my category. So these shows are becoming increasingly challenging. They're becoming increasingly competitive, and you want to make sure that no one has a competitive edge on you. So making sure that every single thing that you are doing to bring your best package to the stage has a great purpose and is really going to be things that are going to help you excel and kind of beat out some of these other competitors who might not have access to this information. All right, so tip number 1 is an obvious one, but it's really the most important one, and that is nutrition. Your nutrition is the key element to bringing your absolute best body. If this is the first time that you're going to be competing and you're training in the gym for the first time and you're trying to put on muscle, there is no way that you're going to be able to put on good, lean, dense muscle mass if you don't have the right nutrition, if you don't have the right calories, if you're not taking the right supplements, if you're not increasing your protein intake, if you're not taking recovery agents, your amino acids, your glutamine. There's a lot of things that go into your nutrition that are very, very important in order for you to get the results that you want, whether that is putting on muscle or shredding down. Nutrition becomes increasingly important for you. For those of you who are conditioning your body, who are trying to shred down, who are trying to, really get lean. Maybe you've already put on some good lean muscle mass. You put on a little bit of weight while you were putting on that muscle and you want to shred it down. but you don't want to lose that good quality muscle. You don't want to waste all of those months in the gym and all of that time and sacrifice training. You don't want to lose that muscle because you are dieting down for a competition. So that is where nutrition really has an important role, because it will allow you the right macronutrient plan, the right split between your proteins, your carbs, and your fats, the way that it goes hand in hand with your training and your conditioning and your cardio becomes very, very important to allow you to lose that excess weight without sacrificing that muscle. So nutrition is a really key element, and I tell this to everyone, who I meet at the expos or who just reach out to me. Make sure that you have the right nutritional program for you. Not every plan for every person is the same, or it shouldn't be the same. I know that there's a lot of these coaches, and I call them coaches because they don't know a lot about nutrition. They don't know a lot about physical training and personal training and how to really put on lean muscle mass and sculpt a woman's body. And I'm sorry for those of you who are watching this or maybe one of those coaches and trainers, but it's the truth. There's a lot of misinformation out there. And, unfortunately, I want to kind of talk about this just a second before I move on to the next points, because it's something that I've encountered with a lot. I've had a lot of you ladies reach out to me for reverse diets and for nutritional programs because you have had coaches who have basically starved you to death, giving you 900, 1,000 calories for 12, 15 weeks, have destroyed your metabolisms, your adrenal glands are shot, you're suffering from thyroid issues. And a lot of you are very young, and I've had, I think maybe the last 10 clients that I've been working with have been clients who we have had to retrain their metabolisms to support normal food, a normal fitness lifestyle. And it's really, really damaging, and it has a lot of damaging long-term effects. So if there's, one piece of advice and kind of like the most important element to becoming a successful competitor is working with a good nutritional program. Get yourself a dietitian, a nutritionist, someone who's certified in nutrition, someone who really knows what they're talking about in order to help you achieve the results that you want. You have to have a good plan of action. And if you're following a program and it doesn't feel right and you're starving and you're dying and you feel like, oh my God, how am I gonna make it through this? This doesn't feel right. Then you have to stop. Do your research and get yourself a really good program, a really good coach, someone who's gonna really help you take your physique to the next level, and it's not gonna totally destroy you and kill your metabolism. All right, tip number 2, of course, super obvious one, but very, very important, is your training. Your training style is very important when it comes to achieving the body that you want. Again, same thing as nutrition. If you're trying to put on lean muscle mass and your goal right now is to get your body ready before you start a prep, your training style is going to be very important. You want to make sure that you're taking plenty of time to allow your body to recover. If you're training for an hour and a half a day, you're doing really heavy lifting, kind of really explosive volume training, you want to make sure that you take ample amount of time off, at least 2 to 3 days a week, to allow your body to recover. It's impossible for your body to put on lean muscle mass if you are in a constant state of tearing. One thing that's very important for you guys to remember is that you go to the gym to destroy your body. You do not go to the gym to shred or put on muscle. Literally, you are in the gym tearing up your muscle. You recover through your nutrition and you recover through your sleep and making sure you take the right type of supplements to help the recovery process be accelerated, right? You want that recovery process to be quick, but you need to be able to take time off in order to allow that muscle mass to really layer on, plaque on, and you want it to harden and you want it to stick. So making sure that your off season or your training program for putting on lean muscle mass is really tailored for your body specifically. So if you're someone who naturally has broader shoulders, who tends to put on a little bit more muscle on your upper body, make sure that your training program is designed to target and really be focused on your lower body. Because if you have tons of muscle in your upper body and it's hard for you to get that sculpt and that lift in the glutes and that volume in the quads in your lower body, you don't want to be training your shoulders and back 3 times a week and focusing on glutes once a week. You want to make sure that that training program is really designed specifically for your body, tailored to target areas where you might be weaker than in other areas. Now, when it comes to conditioning and getting ready for a show, let's say that you're 12 weeks out, your training program should change. It shouldn't be the same as your muscle building program. You want a program that's really designed to condition the whole body. It's really designed to make sure that you keep the volume in the areas where you want the volume. If you struggle with your legs, you hold a lot of weight in your lower body, you don't want to be training, again, you don't want to be training your upper body 2 to 3 times a week and not really focusing on the lower body. When it comes to the bikini category, you want to make sure that your training is designed around creating a really sexy, tight, sculpted physique. One thing that the judges really put emphasis on is that teeny tiny waistline, big, full, round, lifted, tight glutes. So you don't want to be like overtraining your shoulders. You don't want to be focusing your training on biceps and triceps when the judges aren't really looking at that. So you want to make sure that your training program is designed specifically for creating balance and symmetry, but it's also tailored towards the judges are looking for, which is basically small waistline, nice definition and tone to your arms and shoulders, a little bit of width on those lats just so that you have a nice V taper, and then really keeping that quad volume on the upper part of the quads, those hamstrings and glutes. So make sure that your training is really tailored for achieving that look, that aesthetic balance that all of us need in order to be successful competitors. So my third tip is on your posing. Posing is super important. I know that you guys have heard me say this before, and anytime that I've done a posing video, I talk about the importance of posing. But posing is really, really important because it actually allows you to show off this great body that you've been working on. You know, what's the point of working and training and killing yourself and conditioning and doing, cardio and doing HIIT training if you're not going to present your body in the best way possible? You want to make sure that your posing is designed around really showing off your assets. So if your legs are your strength, you have an amazing booty, you want to make sure that that posing is really tailored towards showing the arch of the lower back, really kind of showing off those legs, really kind of focused around accentuating the glutes. So, or if you like me, my strength is not exactly my glutes, my strength is my front, I really try to do poses and really kind of try to perfect angles where my torso just looks amazing, my waistline looks really small, my shoulder, lats, and pelvic ratio is just really accentuated. So you want to make sure that that posing is on point. I always say, your last 6 weeks, you want to get in at least 15 to 20 minutes of posing 4 times a week, for sure. Another big thing when it comes to posing is making sure that you ladies are comfortable walking in heels. That is such a big one because a lot of times you guys put off the posing, oh, I'll do it later, and then you put on these 5-inch clear heels for the first time and you're like walking like Ed Munster because you're not used to it, or you're like, like me, living in sneakers every day and training clients and are never really in heels. You want to make sure that you feel super comfortable in those shoes. One tip that I tell all of my girls, especially those who are not that comfortable, in the 5-inch heels, is wear them around the house. Put them on if you're cooking, if you're like doing laundry, whatever it is that you're doing, put those shoes on. It may be uncomfortable, but it's gonna really allow them to kind of become a part of your body. Your feet are gonna feel more comfortable in it. You'll learn to stretch through your toes. It'll make the posing a lot easier. So the more time you spend in those shoes, the better and more fluid those movements and steps are gonna be. So don't skip out on your posing, ladies. Make sure you do your research, get with a posing coach. Don't skip out on your posing. You want to make sure that you are going to present that amazing body that you've worked so hard for. You want to make sure that you present it in a really beautiful, feminine way. That's something that's really important to remember because femininity is everything when it comes to the bikini category. You want to take this fabulous athletic body and present it in a really soft, graceful, confident manner. So don't skip on the posing. Make sure those last 6 weeks you're getting it in at least 4 times a week. All right, tip number 4 is one that for some reason I would think all the girls got this one down. This is the easy one. This is what we come to do. But you know what? There's a lot of times where I've been in shows and I'm like, what happened to the glam? Glam is so important for the bikini category because honestly, these judges want to see a gorgeous girl in a gorgeous swimsuit with amazing poses, showing off a great toned, tight, athletic body. These judges are really, truly looking for the whole package. They want to see the hair, the makeup, the suit, the perfect tan. Don't skip out on the glam, girls. This is such an easy one. Getting the hair and makeup done. If you guys are not good at doing your own hair and makeup, just pay someone. It's one show, it's your first time, or it's your one time on stage. You've been working so hard on this body. Don't skip out on all of the little things that are totally in your control. Because you know what, when you show up to these shows and you get backstage, and I'm sure a lot of you have experienced this, You get backstage and you see all of these amazing, gorgeous bodies and you're like, oh my God, what have I gotten myself into? You wanna make sure that you can control everything that you have control over. So you don't have control over who shows up. You don't have control over, someone having more definition or just naturally more genetically gifted. Those things you can't control. But one thing you definitely can control is how flawless your face looks, how beautiful your hair looks, how perfect your suit fits you, how smooth and even your tan is, how well you've conditioned your body. You can, make sure that you lost all of that excess additional fat in those areas where you tend to hold a little bit more fat. Those are the things that you can control. And you want to make sure when you show up to these competitions and you're in a lineup with 40, 50 girls, you want to make sure that you are not skipping out on everything, and that includes the glam. I've seen a lot of judges backstage with girls telling them, you know what? I had you in first. From the neck down, your body was perfect, your conditioning was on point, that swimsuit looks amazing. But what happened to the hair and makeup? It looks like you weren't even trying. It looks like you didn't even put on lipstick on. And I've heard a lot of judges tell these to athletes, and I'm like, oh my gosh, girl, you could have taken that first place if you would have just put a little bit more effort into making sure that you are bringing a really beautiful package. Make sure that tan is really smooth. If you guys want to do your own tan, I'm telling you, please use the tanning salon or the tanning company that's going to be working on the show. It'll allow you to have a smooth tan. You'll look like everyone else. You won't look like an outsider. I've seen a lot of you ladies with those green tans on stage because you decided to do it at home, do like a homemade tan, and then you get on stage and you look totally different from the other competitors, and not in a good way. So make sure that all of those little things are like check marks, hair, makeup, tan, suit. Make sure that you guys are putting the time, effort, and money towards bringing everything you can to the stage, because you don't want to work so hard and then just kind of like lose it at the, at the 2-yard line. My last and final tip is talk to the judges. It is very important for you ladies to talk to the judges after your show, because it is important for you guys to know what their feedback is. And if it's your first time competing, of course, you want to make sure that once you're done with finals, you go and you find one of the judges, or you email one of the judges if they're busy. And it happens sometimes, there's a lot of people who want to talk to them after the competition. And they're very busy and you don't want to stand in line for an hour, especially if you're dehydrated and thirsty and hungry. Make sure you email your pictures to the judges, reach out to them, get their feedback. Their feedback is very important because it's going to allow you to really kind of hone in on the areas that you need to work on, especially if you're coaching yourself or you're working with a coach who's not really too familiar with the bikini category. You want to make sure that you know exactly what these judges want to see from you. And I can only kind of give you general guidelines because I don't know exactly what your bodies look like, but you want to make sure that you get good feedback from them. Take the time, show them that you care. You'd be surprised, these judges really remember their athletes. I've had girls and I tell them, make sure after the show or I'll wait with them, talk to the judges, let's see what their feedback is. And the judges will always be like, oh my God, you know what, girl? I saw you 2 months ago. You looked great then. You look even better now. I'm so proud of you. You really kind of changed the way you look. And these girls are like, oh my God, I can't believe they remembered me. But you'd be surprised. Judges know all of their athletes. They're sitting there in front of you. They're analyzing you. They're looking at you. They have really good memories, and they know when you brought a good package, and they know when you've come back and brought an even better package. So make sure you get their feedback, because the next time you step on stage and you're in front of them again, you want to make sure that you've made changes. You don't want to go show to show to show with the same exact body, and then you're like, oh my God, why am I placing third? Why am I placing fifth? Why can't I take that second or first place spot? Well, you're bringing the same body. Talk to the judges, get their feedback, find out exactly what you need to change on your body, and then make sure that the next time you step on stage, you're bringing that change that they want to see. If there's a lot of things you got to work on and you're like, oh my God, but I wanted to do a show in 3 weeks, skip the show. Take the ample amount of time that you need to make those changes so that when you come back and you step on stage, you are bringing the package that they really want to see. This is a lot of hard work, ladies. I mean, and you know it if you've competed before. You know that it takes a lot of time and dedication to do this. So you want to make sure that your efforts aren't wasted every time you step on stage. If you're gonna step on stage, you need to make sure that you are bringing a first place package. If you're not that sure, you didn't lose enough weight, you didn't have time, your swimsuit isn't exactly what you want it, just wait. make sure that when you step on stage, you're coming to win. You're not coming just to show up, oh, let's see what happens. Unless it's your first show. If it's your first show and you're not really sure and you just want to get your feet wet, that's a different story. But if you're competing consistently and you're like, oh my gosh, why aren't I doing well? Take some time off, send your pictures to the judges, talk to them, find out what they want to see differently from you, apply those changes, and then when you come back, you make sure that you are bringing an absolute first place package. Whether you take home first place or not. And there's a lot of elements that come into play, including the politics and who shows up and a bunch of other things that really kind of determine whether you win or not. But in your heart of heart, in your gut, you know, okay, this is a first place package. All right, guys, I hope these tips are gonna help you. I really think they will. These are some of the things that I've applied for myself. So I really wanted to share them with you, and hopefully it'll help kind of, make you think about competing and think about your strategy for, stepping on stage this season a little bit differently. Keep them in mind because they're really, really important. You want to make sure that you guys are bringing your best package, that you're putting all your efforts and that your efforts are going towards the right things. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Please feel free to leave your comments below. I read all of them and leave your suggestions. I have this channel really made to help you guys achieve your best bodies, whether you're a competitor, whether you're a mom and you're just looking to lose weight, whether you're, trying to get your best summer body. These videos are really to help you guys take your body to the next level. So leave your comments, leave your suggestions. If you guys are looking to really make some great changes to your physique, if you're a competitor and you want some coaching, please visit my website, lisettehoward.com. You guys can click the link above. It'll take you directly there. I offer everything from contest prep to transformation programs. I work with a lot of you one-on-one on customized programs. So please visit my website. You can find all of my products there, including my competition manual. Ladies, if you're serious about competing and you really want to make sure that you're bringing your best package, that competition manual is like 60 plus pages filled with everything you need to know about competing. It gets rid of all of the mystery of what the judges are looking for, how to create the right aesthetic balance. And I think you guys are going to really love it. The feedback has been great. So please visit my website for that. And that's pretty much it. Don't forget to subscribe. Ciao, guys. Thank you so much for watching.